Part 2 of the Teachings for the New Golden Age by beloved Ascended Master Kuthumi. Preparing Teachers for the Golden Age. The Ascension. The quality of the energy which forms the vehicles of man is determined primarily by the free will choice of each individual in the use of those vehicles through the ages. The vibratory action of these is also determined by what they have been fed by the life stream through the long course of individualization. This feeding of the lower vehicles, the emotional, mental, etheric, and physical bodies, is determined by the type of teaching which he has accepted, the associations with his fellow man, that which his attention is allowed to rest upon, and, in general, the nature of his free will choice of thought, feeling, spoken word, actions, and memory. Very few people know that they can govern, through calling to their I Am presence, their thoughts, their feelings, their speech, their physical activities, and their memories. Rather, most people are used by their vehicles, instead of using them as God intends. Thus the vehicles of a man become his master, rather than his servants. Once man realizes that his powers of thought, feeling, spoken word, physical action, and memory can be consciously controlled, not by human will, but by the Christ within him, he comes under the direction of the brothers of the second ray. Their service is to show mankind how to take the idea and form it into an actual practical cup. This requires the control of the mental body and its use in creating such a plan and sustaining it against the doubts, fears, ridicule, and discouragement of himself and others. When the mental body is thus trained, it ascends out of the mass mind, and the individual truly thinks. Most of mankind do not think for themselves, preferring to use the already designed thoughts of others, accepting them as fact. This is a lazy man's way and slows down the vibratory action of the mental body, which then just functions as a repository of all the knowledge already gathered in a certain strata of thought. Such people repeat like parrots the already expressed thoughts of others, rather than ascending into a receptive consciousness where God himself can direct their thoughts. Then, if a student chooses to develop those thoughts, he can make of them practical, manifest expressions in the world in which he abides. The more a man really thinks for himself, the quicker the vibratory action of his mental body becomes, the more alert it is to the divine pattern, and the less such a one becomes prey to the mass thought of the day. Thus, using the mental body makes it elastic, alert, alive, and receptive to divine inspiration. This is the ascension of the mental body, out of mass thought into individual reception and individual creation of divine ideation. When the Christ self of the individual signifies to the cosmic law that the individual is ready for the ascension, the sponsor secures a hearing before the karmic board, whose duty and responsibility it has been to weigh the strengths and weaknesses of the soul through all the centuries that precede this development. The individual's book of life is examined. The life stream itself has audience before the karmic board, and the assent of this board is requisite to the freedom of the soul from further re-embodiment. Because of the exercise of free will, the individual may, however, refuse to accept its freedom, preferring to reincarnate to further some particular cause in which it has devoted its energies through many centuries. If one does refuse to accept the Ascension, it is always with the clear understanding that such forfeiture makes the life stream personally responsible for the creation of any future karma that might enchain him again, thus not allowing him the opportunity for full freedom when and if the individual should change his mind in the future. What is the Ascension in the light? In your own aura, you joyously and willingly transmute all shadowed substance into its natural God estate by the use of the violet fire of divine mercy. Thus, you purify your miscreations of the past and thus remove the causes and cause of impurity in your own life stream, which were the sustaining power of your distresses. Usually, those blessed cheerless who are about ready for their own ascension voluntarily offer to transmute not only their own destructive karma, but also to help in the redemption of the karma of others and of the race itself. These life streams are interested not only in their own personal freedom, but also in the redemption of all astral and psychic creations which plague the masses. To this end, we have partners on earth who have been, and still are, eager and willing to help us to create again, and permanently this time, the kingdom of heaven on earth. Thus shall we be able to give to our beloved Ascended Master Saint Germain the joy of an externalized freedom star upon which he may quickly manifest the permanent golden age for the present and future inhabitants of our dear earth.